Good day, everyone. Today, sir, I am here presenting the Group 1 reporters, and we will be discussing about the Module 1 media environment. So, reporters, are you ready? Yes, we are. Please welcome Mr. Jason Permejo, Mr. Christopher Pitogo, Mr. Livan Amparo, Miss Christine J. Bacchiano, Miss Fritzl Ann Ugit, Miss Novalin Tura, Miss Mildy Osigan, and yours truly, Miss Danny B. Caballo. So be with us and keep in touch.
Good day everyone, I am Jason Permejo. Our report is all about media environment. Millennials are born in the years between 1981 and 1986. They are the generation wherein the internet bloomed. Thus everyone, whatever generation you are from uses the internet nowadays. Millennials are one of the most attached to it. They are the generation that witnessed the progress of technology, the internet. Millennials and the rise of the information society. Who are the millennials? What are the age bracket of the generation? It is a common misconception that the millennials are simply the latter part of the generation. Most people believe that even if you are born in the latter years of the 90s up until year 2000, you are technically a millennial. Pew Research announced as of 2018 that you can only use of the label millennial to those who were born between the years 1981 and 1996. Into this time, 2019, they are ones with the age of 23 to 37. Millennials advance their minds at some point of the electronics discipline and gradually building their manner to make social existence in the social networked world. Progress in existence. On the alternative hand, the self-belief of the millennials era has research they may be validated to be extra positive as opposed to the alternative past due generations. Many millennials skilled instructional organization with a positive discipline, best afterwards hired with a precise discipline they have got taken in college. That humans in this period are recommended to paintings on matters specifically if it pursues them. They realize cause to the little matters that displays importance to them as an millennial ought to see it as an vital rely earlier than they positioned attempt.
Alright, our first reporter just finished discussing about millennials. And now I am going to continue the discussion, and my topic is all about the difference of millennials from other generation. Good day everyone, this is Kristen J. Bacchiano. So ano kaya ang mga kaibahan ng millennials from the past generations? May pagbabago ba? What are the improvements of this generation? At ngayon ay ating tunghayan ang mga kaibahan ng millennials from the past generations na binanggit sa ating module. Number 1, millennials are more educated. So we all know that most of the women from the past generation does not finish their education, especially in college, because most of them are just elementary or high school graduate. Most of the people from the past generations thought that it is okay for a woman not to finish their education as long as they are good in household chores. Kasi mindset ito ng karamihan before na darating ang araw na mag-aasawa ang babae and siya yung dapat may in charge sa family or inside the house or being the housewife. So it is okay na hindi siya makapagtapos ng pag-aaral porket para sa kanila, lalaki daw talaga yung aasahan para kikita ng pera or para magtrabaho. But there are some cases na hindi nakapag-aral dahil walang maitustos para sa kolehiyo. But in the generation of the millennials, there is a women's suffrage movement that helps the females gain their rights, which included education. Because of that movement, there is an increase of number of women who finished their education. An increase of 36% of women who completed their education at the same age in the millennials compared to the silent generation. Also, the increased percentage to men who graduated university or college. 3 in 10 men millennials completed their education with the least attainment of a bachelor's degree, and that is 29%. And makikita natin sa chart that the millennial generations are more educated than the previous generations. Number 2, the number of the female population who has completed education increased. The percentage of women who finished bachelor degree are higher than men. Women who finished bachelor's degree in the millennial generation from ages 21 to 36 are 7% more than the men compared to silent generation, which are 6 point behind ang women sa men in their generation na nakatapos ng at least 4 years sa college education. Millennials were the first generation in which women outnumbered men in terms of college education attainment, with millennial women having a 3% advantage. Number 3, the number of working women increased. The silent generation female population was young in 1965 with a majority of 58% of women unemployed because of less opportunities or offered works for women, while in the millennial generation, 71% of females are employed and lesser percentage of unemployed, which is 26%. Number 4, millennials are 3 times less likely to get married. In year 1965, most of women are likely to get married at 21 and men at 23. And in 2017, female of age 27 and male of age 29-year-old were asked why they have not gotten married yet. Their reasons are not financially prepared, that is 29% of the population. No one met their standards or their special someone, that is 26%, and not ready to settle down at such a young age, that is 26%. So for me, they reason out these things because of having a good education and being educated of how hard life to have a family. Number 5, millennials are more racial and ethnically diverse. The Asian race has also increased. Non-Hispanic whites account for 56% of the American population in 2017 compared to 86% in the silent generation. The Asian race has grown in popularity, but the black race has remained relatively unchanged. Number 6, millennial men are less likely to become a veteran. They are less likely to serve in the military than the older generation. Despite of the fact that they were born during the conflict in Iraq and Afghanistan, in which the US military is involved, only 4% of the millennials served in the military, compared to 47% of males from the silent generation who grew up during the Korean War and its aftermath. Number 7, most of the millennials in today's time live in the metropolitan area. 9 out of 10 millennials live in urban areas, accounting for 88% in the population. In comparison to the previous generation, just 2/3 of silent generation or 67% lived in the urban region. The baby boomers, like the Gen Xers, stayed in the metropolitan region at a comparable rate of 68%, while the millennials stayed in the city at an even higher rate of 84%. Most reasons for this are their works. And now let's move to the image of millennials. So it is not a secret that older generations are displeased with the millennial generation. They have called the millennials as industry killers, assessing them based on their attitudes toward marriage, career paths, and simply their outlook on life. But despite of this, millennials have launched a movement that altered a lot. An example would be the Arab Spring and Occupy Wall Street. Most of the people from the past generations are most likely to judge these generations because they do not fully understand about how this generation improves in different aspects of life. It is also because this generation has different approach in life and in the society. Being more educated helps the millennials to think much better for their own. But whatever judgment is that, it may be a good things or bad things, the millennial generations are still the future leaders of the country in business and society in general. So masasabi natin na napakalaking at napakaraming pagbabago ang nangyayari from the silent generation to the millennial generation. And it is good for the women to have this right of education and also to have a work because it is not only men that are capable to do so. So all these changes started in education. And that is the end of my discussion, and now let's welcome our next reporter. Thank you.
Now, we will talk about adopting a new technology. Hey, what is the new technology? Any set of progress and techniques which offers significant help over the created technology for a given process is a new technology, whether it is a new invention or an innovation of previous work. As long as its new application of a scientific knowledge for practical purposes, especially in the industry, it can be called new technology. This means that any form of technology which is more advanced or automated relative to which preceded it in a given social context. B. Millennials on social media. Millennials for the last 10 years have gained a massive increase of popularity when it comes to social networking online, with common users collectively counting in millions. Both millennials and females have an equal amount of using the social network and no difference has occurred in regards to nationality and race. Millennials today are the biggest and leading generation in the world, and it developed its way to the top with innovation and technology, by their side helping them in terms of media stance and putting them in place where they get hooked with regard to social media habits. New and advanced technology are in disguise as a fashion trend where millennials are digging their way to have it simply because it is practiced and made to be addictive.
Under in adapting to new technology, which are social media on millennials and millennials' dependency on the internet. Indeed, we tackle about social media on millennials na sa Tagalog pa, ano ang social media sa panahon ng millennials at ano ang gampanin nito sa panahon ng millennials. Social media on millennials. Social media has become more developed and approved by most of the people in regards to trends and style. This is the most used way as of today for interacting and communicating globally. Researchers have explained that the social media have so much to benefit people from. Therefore, it is examined as one of the best example learning devices that means to people's talking and communicating skills and knowledge. As we use today, social media is important for us to easily communicate and interact with our family, friends, loved ones, and etc. According to Kabita and Mubanishwari, it is found to act as a main social influence when it comes to social media that affects the personal life of the users. The conflict of millennials to social media with their cell phones discharges a chemical that is called dopamine, that when an individual gets a notification, it will make him or her feel good and better. Dopamine is the exact same chemical that makes people feel good when they smoke and drink. So in other words, it is indeed extremely addictive. An entire generation that has access to an addictive chemical called dopamine through social media and technologies like cell phones and computers, as they are like going through the pressure of teenagers. Scientists who conducted certain experiments on many different societies made them notice that people who spend extra time on their screens doing Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. experience higher rates of depression less than to those people who spend less time on social media. I said that if you use too much social media your entire life without any break for something that makes you out of control, it gives you depression when social media is not being used in your day-by-day lives. In fact, there is nothing wrong with social media and cell phones, but it is the imbalance of using it and spending a lot more time than being productive for the day. In the research conducted by Pew Research Center, almost 90% of the users of social media tend to be educated and younger and use at least two forms of social media that are defined as an ever evolving and changing web-based platform. The many forms of social media, thus many forms of diversity of technology enabled activities that includes blogging, social gaming, photo and video sharing, business and social networks, virtual worlds, reviews, and many more. Government, private sector, politicians, and international and local celebrities make use of social media to engage with constituents, customers, voters, and avid fans. For individuals, the use of social media is for family, friends, and intended family that uses various applications to look and search for opportunities in their career, search people worldwide with their interests, likes, and shares, thoughts, feelings, insights, and emotions, and engage in the activities of virtual social network. For businesses, the role of social media is crucial tool that use some companies as a platform to find and engage with customers, customer trend, offering good customer service or support, and even drive sales through advertising, marketing, and promoting their products. The significant role of social media is helping the business to facilitate the communication with customers, ability to collect information from the customer to focus on the marketing efforts and research, enabling the merging of social interactions on e-commerce sites, helps in promotion products and services according to targeted in distribution, exclusive sales and coupons to would-be customers and timely that helps to build customer relationships through loyalty programs linked to social media. Real-world example. There are positive and negative sides of social media that may use in any point of platform features equating it overuse that leads to an addiction and contributes to absent-mindedness, stress, and jealousy. In the research of National Center Biotechnology, social media information links has used to depression and may conduit for misleading information and falsehoods. The figures for the most popular social media websites as of January 2019 are as follows. As of January 2019, 2.27 billion users of Facebook. Number 2, 1.9 billion users of YouTube. Number 3, 1.5 billion users of WhatsApp. 4, 1.3 billion users of Facebook Messenger. Number 5, 1.08 billion users of WeChat. Number 6, 1 billion users of Instagram. Number 7, 803 million users of QQ. Number 8, 531 million users of Qzone. Number 9, 500 million users of Douyin or TikTok. Number 10, 446 million users of Sino Weibo. Next, under the adapting to new technology is the millennials' dependency on the internet, na ang ibig sabihin ay paano nakadepende ang mga millennials sa internet sa kanilang pang-araw-araw na gawain. Millennials' dependency on the internet. Almost everyone in today's time uses technology, whether this for the means of communication to usage machines to building fire, that is technology. With the century we are currently living in, with technology surrounding us, technology has helped us in our daily lives. In the information gathering, if you were to ask someone if he or she would prefer to go to the library or to the internet, it will probably be the latter. Millennials rely on the internet for gathering any information. When surveyed, a number of 88% of millennials receive or get news from Facebook, a big and famous social media platform. Another report say that they get their daily news from Twitter, Pinterest, Reddit, or Tumblr, which are social media sites. About 13% use Twitter, 10% use Pinterest, 8% use Reddit, while 7% use Tumblr or TumBLR. In the navigation and transportation, to get around the area or to go to a specific place, the old way is to grab yourself a map and that will help you navigate. But with today advanced technology, all you need is GPS or even a smartphone. There are a lot of applications that can help you navigate, such as Google Maps and Waze. They help you not only to get around the area, but even give you multiple directions to shortcuts and traffic updates, so that you'll know what's the best route to use. Transportation has been made easier when it comes to commuting. There are applications that manage bus transport so that you'll know the routes and what time they would arrive. You can even get yourself a cab over your smartphones with the use of Uber or Grab. For the communication, the millennials or Generation Y are more globally diverse compared to the previous generations. Nowadays, only few use landlines due to the fact that phones have just drastically evolved to smartphones. Messaging apps such as Messenger and Skype are already used. They are free. All you need is internet connection. For the education, it is amazing how technology has evolved. Today, you can already learn and study via your computer. There are already online schools when they will give you books and activities so that you won't need to leave your home. In the Philippines, we have AMA and Southville, and just two of the many. Moreover, Philippines also use technology in education as of today. We are currently under the COVID-19 pandemic crisis, That's why education also changed. The students now are all set to learn from home. Some schools use modular mode of learning and some are use synchronous learning and what we have used right now. And that will be all about social media on millennials and millennials' dependency on the internet.
Great day ahead! Caballo sir, reporting the Google makes us stupid. So do you believe that Google makes us stupid? Why? Google makes us stupid. So according to Nicholas Carr, the internet, not just Google, is making us stupid. Muuyon ba mo sa sulti ni Nicholas Carr? Well, Nicholas Carr mentioned that even his friend who used to read long articles can't do it anymore. That even a 3 to 4 paragraph article is difficult to read. And that he resolves to skimming. So sa diri nga part, makarelate jud ta or ako lang ba? Diba so bandiha, dito ra ta mo-focus sa main idea sa text. Cause we skip the text nga naghatag og details, stories or data. Kay mas i-focus man nato ang main idea niya o ang mas importante nga matabang sa atua. Carr added that we are all good if our brains were replaced or supplemented by artificial intelligence. By that, it suggests that intelligence is simply a series of steps to be measured and optimized. It implies that human brain is just an old and outdated computer that will need an upgrade. So as a student under this mode of learning, makaingon jud ta that Google makes our homeworks easier. Kay magsalig man jud ta sa Google. But exposing ourselves to a computer screen, cell phone, is makadaot jud sa tua. So wala na nato napakita ato ang potensyal o kahibalo without Google. Labi na karon nga naa nay mga apps to solve sa problems. Carr trying to say how are we learning anything if we automatically get the answer within 2 seconds instead of taking the time to actually read a detailed book or lengthy article. That their mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. That's why makita jud nato kung unsa ato ang ginapangita through Google searching. It is hard for people not to use Google these days, nga naman, because Google used for everything, from education to online shopping to tutorials on how to make a certain meal. So pati gani sa pagluto, makita na nato sa Google. Google wanted to be the perfect engine, which means that it will understand what you want and will give you exactly what you require. They wanted it to be an artificial intelligence wherein they could solve never-before-solved problems. With the help of technology, everyday's duties have become easier. With our smartphones, we may be able to recall our list of things to do and where we need to go. Also, it has become easier to communicate with someone in a different place bisan unsa pa na kalayo dira. With just a few clicks, we can already find the information we need instead of going around the library for hours. It's less time consuming and yet the abuse of people who use it disrupts it all. The internet made us lazy, yes. Like mentioned before, the incapability of reading lengthy books or articles from being able to. There are times wherein people do not want to think for themselves and just rely on a search engines such as Google. Research says that the internet has made us impatient as well. As nature goes, as a new generation enters, they get more and more impatient. Microsoft has recently discovered that people are suffering from a decline or decrease of attention span. Just like everything else, if there is a good side, there will be a bad side. Though, technology has been praised and criticized at the same time, we can still say that we are thankful that it continues to evolve. The founders of Google Company are Larry Page and Sergey Brin. In 1996, they were students at Stanford University, California. In 2014, the company held an intellectual property office, and by 2015, the company restructured the interest as Alphabet and became leading subsidiary of Google that operates as a partnership to Internet interests. For the continuation of the founders of Google Company will be discussing by the next reporter. Thank you.
Good day everyone, this is Livan Amparo and my task is to report all about Google. So as an introduction, let me explain to you what is the importance of Google, especially nowadays. In this generation, most people turn to the internet for help on several things, especially in studies, jobs, and in business. Internet or social media has a wide system that makes it convenient for each one of us who needs deeper explanation about something. Google is one of the main sites that many of the people usually use as a guidelines, ideas, and most importantly source of information. Furthermore, Google has a large contribution in terms of the worldwide internet. Students rely on it instead of books and other resources. Google is very influential nowadays because it provides anything you need to know about something, saying that Google is a very popular source of ideas and information. According to Statista website 2016, the Philippines had a 59.2% internet users. Students use the internet to search and gather information, and one of the most helpful sites that can be used as a search engine is Google. As stated by Michael Doherty, 2010, Google is possibly the world's largest and the most precise search engine. He also stated that Google search has a wide variety of information. Additionally, he said that this search engine has to show more content. It helps people in many ways. It makes people's life easier by making things in an easier and faster way and making the world smaller. One of the most successful innovation in technology is the computer, which is used for us to access the internet. Many use the internet, especially students, people looking for a job, or a business who needs ideas or further information regarding something. All of which can be done by Google. Google serves as a guideline and source of information and ideas. Researchers wanted to study this because in this generation, students always rely on the internet when searching information. So, in my experience, as I use Google many times, it is a real thing for me that Google helps me a lot, because especially when I want to learn something about the things that I haven't learned yet, then Google is there to provide the information that I need. And also, I don't need anymore to search in books. I don't need to go to library to look for information. It would not take time for me to scan for books, because by just simply searching whatever you wanted to know is already there in the Google, whatever information that you need. So Google for me is really a big help. Now let's talk about who are the founders, or what is the origin of the Google. So the two founders, named Larry Page and Sergey Brin, made the Google as a search engine that can work to find a variety of information like websites, maps, pictures, videos, and many more. Google, also called web crawler, has a computer program that examines and searches using keyword content of the billions of websites available on the World Wide Web. Google has enormous majority of income from advertising that branch out into a number of areas such as cloud computing, software, and hardware. Google company creates the first Google phone called Pixel as a mobile hardware market and makes a cloud unit called Google Cloud that contains things like G Suite, the company's productivity application like Gmail and Google Drive. So like what I've said earlier, Google really helps me a lot. So what are the key features and benefits of Google? So the first one, it has a search box for your query. The second, instantly provides answers. The third, search instantly different websites, news, maps, videos, images, and much more. And last, provides suggestions, alternative search terms, and misspelled word or phrase. So there are more benefits and key features of Google, but only 4 of those that I can only mention. So the next thing is, what are the Google's safety features? So the first one, safe search must enable to filter out mature content. The second, browsing the web must be in private. Third, approved games and applications must be limited in accessing on the user's tablet. So let's talk about Google+. So what are the key features and benefits using Google+? So, or the first one, you must go to plus.google.com. The second, you must have a Google account. The third, main page has stream for updates, conversations, and shared content. Fourth one, add contact and assigning to one or more circles for categorizing and organizing people. Next, you need to sign up, then Google set up the friends and acquaintances, then you can add on your own. And after that, you can share messages or links within designated circles. And then circles are private. Another thing is notifications appears when someone adds you, commented on, and reacted to the content. Also, comments to the content shared by other user and can add +1 as liking the comment. The next one is share the original poster and content. And also in the video chat, the user allows to use the Hangout application. And it can organize and upload photos using Google Photos, previously known as Picasa. And Google Plus application are also available for smartphone, and it is personalized Google Plus address. So I know that some internet users are using Gmail or Google Mail. Now here, we can learn that we can send and receive money from friends and family using Gmail. Google Wallet Balance allows to send and receive money to any email address provider. Here are the guides on how you use this feature from a web browser. So step by step, how to make a payment with Gmail. First, you need to go to Gmail. Second, open the account and click Compose, then add the email address of the receiver. The third, add a subject and message text, then click the # symbol. Fourth, send money via Google Wallet. Click on Add Debit Card. The fifth one, add a credit or debit card details into the amount you want to send. Then, click Review and Attach. And the last one, have one more spot check. When you're happy, click on Send. And of course, you can receive a payment and request money from someone using Gmail. So how to receive a payment in Gmail? First, add a debit card to receive the money. Second, open the Gmail account, then open the message with the attached money, and then click Pay Money. So how to request money from someone using Gmail? First, request money. Follow the same steps to making a payment, except click on Request. Click Review, then Attach. When you are happy, click Send. And lastly, if you'd like more help with this service, please go to Google Help Center. So, I'm so sorry that I don't have any pictures or step-by-step images on how to that shows how to receive a payment and request money using Gmail, but I have posted here a link that could help us understand how to receive a payment and to request money from someone using Gmail. So the video is very clear and it provides all information that we need so that we can be guided, especially if we don't have any much idea about using Gmail. So that's all about my report. I hope you understand about the topic that I've discussed. Thank you and God bless.
Good day, everyone. I am Fritzal and Ugit, the next reporter. So we are here now in overview of new technological development. Technological development changed lives of individuals and the practices. I am now going to discuss how technology changed the world. First, technology changed the education system. Education and learning approaches were changed by the technology the first time IBM was first introduced as the first personal computer back in 1981. So ang mga tao already know sa una pa lang that technology will grow vastly because of how technology progresses and also because of people's dissatisfaction in the advancement of technology. Some of the best schools were built but unfortunately their institutes were far-flung from the homes of some and that was not motivating in some ways. Ug tungod ni ana, technology was found an answer and that is to provide online classes ug mao na ni atong new mode of learning sa pagkakaron. Anyone nowadays can have a degree online just by operating his or her computers with internet. Technology provides students with easy to access information, accelerated learning, and fun opportunities to practice what they learn. It enables students to explore new subjects and deepen their understanding of difficult concepts. The most notable use of technology is that it no longer limits lesson time to the traditional four walls of the classroom, creating a true learning continuum between home and school. Students can now use technology to meet, collaborate, and create content virtually. Technology also changed the methods of communicating. Technology today has created many various types of application in terms of doing communication online. Communication affects communication by making it easier, quicker, and more efficient. It allows you to track conversations. Before technology era began in the 8th century, letters and written emails were the first kind of communication. In 1897, radios for communicating were invented. And in 1916 were the first and the longest time consumed radio broadcasts. Today, radios are no longer used by the majority of people due to the popularity of mobile phones, computers, and even video conferencing tools. The advantage of doing the communication online is that it is constant and fast, and also easy and known as the quickest way of communication. Compare in the past, a handwritten letter takes up to a span of 10 days to get hold of the information written inside the letter. Social media nowadays are the most ranked tool for communicating and interacting. Aside from technology changed the education system and technology changed the methods of communicating, technology also changed people's health. There are positive and negative effects of technology in the health of people. Social media lead to psychological and physical issues such as eye strain and difficulty focusing on important tasks. They may also contribute more serious health conditions such as depression. The overuse of technology may have a more significant impact on developing children and teenagers. Meanwhile, health information technology presents numerous opportunities for improving and transforming healthcare, which includes reducing human errors, improving clinical outcomes, facilitating care coordination, improving practice efficiency, and tracking data over time. These days, Healthcare services and technologies used in checkups are more developed than the previous generations, but the reason due to the invention of these are also because of the thought that people are abusing the use of technology in their daily lives. New advances in technology are making more precise and accurate. At this moment, I am going to discuss what are the new technological development. Technology development is the systematic use of scientific, technical, economic, and commercial knowledge to meet specific business objectives or requirements. The first technological development is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is also known as AI, which is the new replication of machine's intellect and the human intelligence. Some part of applications of an artificial intelligence includes its expertise on systems, speech recognition, and its very own machine vision. It is the ability of a computer or a robot controlled by a computer to do tasks that are usually done by humans because they receive human intelligence and discernment. It is demonstrated by machines as opposed to natural intelligence displayed. Artificial intelligence has two categorizations, either weak or strong. An artificial intelligence which is categorized as weak is called the narrow artificial intelligence, and its system is intended and qualified when it comes to an actual task. Example of this is the Apple Voice Siri. A strong artificial intelligence, on the other hand, is called as the artificial general intelligence. It is capable of reacting upon human cognitive abilities, and it is strong enough to discover a solution without the intervention of humans. The second technological development is 3D printing. 3D printing is correspondingly known as additive manufacturing because printing in 3D does not let it eliminate materials, in fact, adds more of it as sheets after. But for you to print a 3D object, it has to have a 3D model of a certain to be able for the 3D printer to project the exact results of it. It is a method of creating a three-dimensional object layer by layer using a.
Good day, everyone. I'm Melody Sarong, your last reporter. So, how much has technology changed over that time? Do you have any idea? So, it is a clear as day how technology has evolved from building fire for light to light bulb to telegram to online communication platforms. Technology has changed over a lot of the time. But the effects of the technology, there are some people are quite disturbing because they are overly exposed to radiation from cell phones and other gadgets, and they are becoming sluggish. Also, many people are losing their jobs because they are refused to work when there are robots and other machines that will do their supposedly work. And technology is have a purpose. So first is communication. When we say communication, it is the act of transferring information from one place, person to another. During the old days, you had to send a letter or a telegram to communicate with someone miles away from you. Um, it may take a days and days before it arrives at your doorstep. You had to trace where the letter had been sent it and opposite correction person received it. But today's technology, it had been made easier to communicate with someone else, and all you need to do is you have a cell phone or a computer to send them a message. There are a lot of platforms and options to communicate with someone far away nowadays. You can always go for your classic way of calling through via telephone, or you can use your cellular phone to give them a call or send a message via SMS. Now you can use social media for means of communication. There is a large variety of options that you can choose from, ranging from Facebook to Twitter to Skype to Viber, and they have become a part of our everyday lives. And all honesty, they may not begun in a very long time. Whether that person is beside you, block away, or even miles in the ocean away, your message will deliver at the same rate and speed, of course, still depending on internet connection. It is amazing how you can send a voice message or a text message that can be delivered in a nanosecond. So through communication is the information can be easily sent to other. Bills, payment, and money transfers. The bank is a revolutionary advancement. Who knew we would go from trading cows and shells to having paper money and coins? Money storage and control has been made easier because of this. However, with the continuous progress and advancement of technology, you don't even have to go to the bank to pay your bills or send in receive money. And there are simple tap from your fingertips that you can already do it on your smartphone. Countless banks are already making online transactions to pay your bills and money transfer and cannot be hassle free benefits. There are heaps of companies such as PayPal and Paymaya also have a Gcash for bills payment and money transfer, and the other created platform wherein people can send and receive money from anybody from any part of the world with the usage of the internet. And you can even use your smartphones for payment in physical stores so that you won't have to carry cash anymore. Entertainment is an event, performance, or activity that designed to entertain others. You can entertain through the use of smartphones, which smartphones have taken over the world. There are about 2 million smartphones being sold every day. To connected to smartphones is social media, which has vastly grew over the past few years, and it has helped a lot of people from across the globe, not just for entertainment purposes, but it gave them accessible information as well. There are nearly 3.2 billion people who uses the internet actively. That is practically half of the Earth population, and it is almost impossible for someone not to be on the internet. Even 4 years old nowadays have access to internet and can already navigate and use computer, phones, or tablets. There are even people getting obsessed over social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, and etc. There are countless console for you to play your games and countless platform for you to watch your favorite movies. Um, Console such as PS4 and Xbox are the most famous platforms for gaming as well as personal computers. And it has become so famous that it is already considered as a sport called sport, a form of competition using video games. And you can watch your favorite movies or series on your television. But since smartphones continue to develop, you can already watch movies or video on it. YouTube and Netflix being one of the biggest and the most popular platform that we use nowadays. Back in the days, people watch videos on the television and they are use tape In 1999, 92% used tape as home entertainment. But now, there are so many people use Netflix for entertainment. In 2006, 94% of US population used DVD for home entertainment. Now you can store your movies in external hard drives and you can watch videos straight from your smart televisions and smartphones. New technologies that could change the world. It is mind-boggling, that almost unbelievable, that how much technology has changed the world. Unlike in the past, there are now cures for various illnesses. Nowadays, there are more innovative drainage systems or machine and modes of transportation. Agricultural drones, it is a very helpful technology that the farmer begin to use drones with cameras attached to them that help to them to improve how they treat their crops, and through drones it allows the farmers to have a different perspective compared to the previous satellite use. When we say ultra-private smartphone, it is a mobile phones for the consumer market that transmit minimal personal information. And also, the concern over privacy grows and the grows as countless from the hacker. It is a way that your personal information will be secure. However, a Maryland-based company and Silent Circle is now encrypt their client text message, voicemail, and even files that they have attached to the message or they have sent. Brain mapping. When we say brain mapping, it is a minimally invasive technology that used to diagnose and treat a brain tumor or any disease that would be inaccessible to surgeon and that were considered inoperable. Brain mapping is the study of the anatomy and function of the brain and spinal cord through the use of imaging including intraoperative, microscopic, endoscopic, and multimodality imaging. Through this, it will help the patient to measure brain function during recovery and rehabilitation included. Genomic editing. The researchers in China has made a big technological advancement by creating a pair of monkey with the usage. And also, genomic editing, it is called gene editing. Um, it is a define a group of technologies that give scientists the ability to change an organism DNA. These technologies allow genetic materials to be added or removed and altered particular location in the genome.